No hay un auto ni un humano caminando y el semáforo aún sigue funcionando. Y tú que tenías tantos sueños, tantas ganas de crecer, en vez fuiste una abeja y no probaste ni la miel. Y ahora ya no hay tiempo para volver. Adiós mundo cruel, ven para acá y da un beso de esos que hacen volar, de esos que paran hasta el tráfico, a ver si no pisa un camión. Ay, anda, corre, corre, anda, ven para acá.
Hey viewers, it's I, James Kalm, your half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike. Special shout out to our viewers in Henderson, Nevada. We're gonna run into Lyles and King. And gonna take a look at an exhibition by Paola Angelini titled Newborn from Ashes and Fire. And there's another show in the back gallery that we'll introduce you to when we get done with this. Okay, this piece is titled Pale Fire 2022, Oil on Linen. Well, it's the Armory Show weekend here and the first kind of weekend of the new art season, so there's a lot of activity here. I drive up and down Henry Street pretty often, and I was just surprised that these guys are open. Anyway, I thought the show was pretty interesting. I'm looking at some of Paola's characters, and I think she makes a point of referencing some real classic painting things. I think one of them is, of course, Balthus, some of the figures, and Lenore Carrington, another fabulous surrealist painter. It was interesting that we started out on that blue painting because all the rest of these pieces in the show are kind of keyed towards a neon red, neon pink end of the spectrum. Well, they talk about Paola being influenced a lot by, they call the Apocalypse Tapestries, some kind of 13th century piece dealing with, I guess, the religious prophecies of the apocalypse. I was actually also interested in some of Paola's technical things. Of course, you can see she's a great draftsperson, and the color is interesting, but also there is a strange surface texture that she employs in a lot of these. This is called Dawn of Fire. Calling this mixed media on canvas, and this is 80 by 63. Well, I was talking about the interesting technical things. Okay, it says in the press release that Paola builds her grounds using rabbit skin glue and I think chalk, and putting on layers of this, and then what ends up happening is that this surface puckers and cracks, and she gets this very unique, it's almost like an embossed surface that she's working on. And in some of the pieces, or some of the areas of the pieces, she leaves it and really kind of exaggerates it, and then other places she'll close it in a bit. Okay, this is a large piece. It's titled Interior, Mixed media on canvas. This is 76 3/4 by 103. So it's about 6.5 by 8.5, 9.5. Okay, so we've got the kind of the dance of death things upside down, the dancing skeletons. As I was saying, there's a lot of references to various things, and it's not only classical artists and this Apocalypse Tapestry thing, but some of this puts me in mind of the some of the great Italian Trans-avantgarde painters like Sandro Chia, one of my favorite guys. Okay, this is an extremely rich coloristic piece. And this is the title piece of the show. Newborn from Ashes and Fire, 2022, mixed media on canvas 78 by 63. Okay, here we can probably see the most exuberant use of the textural things that she achieves, and then using some pretty rich colors to kind of flood in and soak into the various levels, the valleys, the cracks, the low spots. And also it says that Paola, on some of these pieces, she sews together the canvases. So that also gives you like another very physical way of dealing with your picture planes. I was going to say some of these things with the horses remind me of Paolo Uccello, great, I guess it'd be early Renaissance Italian painter. And yeah, some of the color and the dryness on these surfaces actually makes me think of pastel. It's titled Woman's Sundress 2022, 78 by 70. And for some reason, this piece made me think of Sandro Chia a lot. Partially it's because Sandro did these kind of face things like that, does those kinds of things. And I also kind of like the way that this one, she's broken up the background and really added a kind of almost a pointillist technical thing, and also her little sewn seams kind of frame out pieces of this. I'll read a little bit from the press release. Angelini's newest body of work draws inspiration from the Apocalypse Tapestries, 1373-82, a sprawling medieval tapestry cycle chronicling the biblical apocalypse. The Apocalypse Tapestries influenced Angelini's use of narrative structure and visual symbolism. The paintings are full of fabulously rich iconography, divine and demonic characters, allegorical bestiary, peasants, warriors, and churchmen, all bearing testimony to the tapestry's culture of origin. Angelini is also influenced by 20th century Italian art, ancient Greek statuary, medieval imagery, such as the tapestries, metaphysical painting, and other art historical references which function as a visual archive. And here's the next juicy part. It's unsurprising that in the Christian tradition, the apocalypse is portrayed as a woman. Angelini is interested in the personification of the apocalypse as an icon who contains both beauty and evil. This is titled, To Look at the Sky, It Has Become Sky. 2022 mixed media on canvas, 82 by 63. I think this one is nice because it's a little more restrained. And when you're working with colors that are this rich and intense, it's always nice to have a little breathing space, a little contrast that you kind of play the hot, glowing colors against something a little more subtle. But again, we've got a very simple subject matter. Madonna behind with the drape, almost like a theatrical backdrop, and then these two figures in front. Although this is kind of like a Janus-faced character, and that looks kind of like a bearded figure, so maybe there is at least a part of a male character here. Okay, let's go in the back gallery and look at a little show by Xiao Hanqiu. Okay, we'll make our sweep. Oh no, we've got the neon, the neon shadows. This is not good. Xiao Hanqiu, Xiao Hanqiu. Hey, people tell me I need to change my frame rate or some other technical thing, which I don't know how to do, but we'll try to get some pictures. This is titled Swan, or What Else Do You Think It Is? 2022 oil on canvas, 27 by 35. And I think Xiao is a pretty good painter. I think there's a whole kind of school of artists that are doing kind of a high surrealism, but it takes a lot of technical skill. This is titled Birthday Party 2022 Oil on Board. It's 11 by 15. And I think Xiao has a pretty good sense for some interesting, rather strange images. It's titled Friendship. Oil on canvas, this is 11 by 15. It's like you're holding the nose of a fox. You don't want to get too close to those guys in the wild. Lily of the Valley. I think this kind of illustrates what I was talking about, that Xiao is pretty competent with the rendering of the forms and the general capturing the skin qualities of the figurative elements. It's titled Swallow, oil on canvas, 23 by 19. I thought this was one of the more interesting pieces in the show. One thing is I like the kind of formalistic stripes on the sides, kind of pale Pompeian red. I think that's interesting because there is a certain amount of kind of pinkish red that Xiao is using to draw in the figures. But in this case, a lot of the drawing is with this kind of dirty greenish yellow color, which is a kind of a perfect contrast to the red. Blackbird 2022 oil on canvas 11 by 15. Okay, this looks like a bone on top of your femur, except it's got a spike sticking out of one side. This is titled Kitty. This is a little more expressionistically brushed in, and I'm not going to make any jokes about the imagery or the title. It's 15 by 19. Marching in a rainstorm of cherries and roses is 2022. Okay, do young ladies still wear bobby socks like that? This is 35 by 47. Confused boy. It's also kind of nicely brushed in, kind of urgent. And the tone of this makes me think of an Alex Katz painting, but it's got a little more guts, a little more paint surface. Flying Rose, 27 by 35. Okay, so there's a nice kind of soft quality to a lot of this images, or the depictions of the form, very kind of low-keyed, soft colors. Okay, so we can see a lot of these, the bodies are kind of cropped, so the elements kind of become almost like still lives or something. So you don't get the face, you don't get the portraiture aspect of these. Piano lesson, 27 by 35. So that was a stroll through of Xiao Hanqiu, Hanqiu, and Paola Angelini, newborn from ashes and fire. Lyles and King on the Lower East Side. You can like this, subscribe, link it up to all your social media sites, recommend it to your friends, talk about it at parties. And you can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, reviews, and suggestions below. As long as you say, thank you, Kate. Oh yeah, Pinc Louds.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Pinc Louds, and that was an original song called Stand My Photo.
Yay!